Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Hello, and welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. I'm super happy to have you here this evening. I have such an incredible lineup of wonderful women tonight. Why? Because their story is their power, and we're going to share their story and their power right here in this hour on the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. So if you haven't yet, and if you don't know how, I'm going to show you how to like, share, and start a watch party. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I always got room right around my table right here for you. So go ahead, share, like, and start a watch party. Tonight, we are going to be talking about so many things that keep us back. How to step into your purpose, how to overcome fear and stand up in courage and really live your dream. So many people are not living their dream, especially in the wake of adversity. And this is not just happening in the United States. This is happening globally. How do I know? Because many of you tell me so when you join me from all around the world, from the Netherlands, from Australia, from Africa, from Japan, from China, from Korea, from all over the world, even from Russia. You join me from all over the world and you let me know, yeah, things are kind of tight and things are kind of tough. But guess what? You can never, ever give up, because winners never quit and quitters never win. So tonight, I want you to come on in and get this. Get your pad and your pen. Why? Honey, because note takers are money makers. And if you want to win, you've got to take notes and you've got to follow the right cat and all of that, so you can make sure that you're leveling up in every area of your life. So come on in, win. It's time to win for you. So come on in. And when you come in, let us know where you're coming in from. We always like to see where you're coming in from so that we can go ahead and show you on the screen. And so when you do come in, you may get a little message that's going to ask you if you will allow us to show your comment on the screen, and please hit yes, and I'll welcome you onto the screen. Now, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. We are a show that is primarily focused on empowerment, empowering people to ignite and take flight and take control of every area of their life. And if you're here tonight, we are going to help you gain more empowerment over your life. So if you are here tonight to gain empowerment over your life, I want you to put a number 1 in the comment bar below. I want to know who's here to kind of level up and gain control and power over their life. Because guess what? This COVID thing, this did not stamp us out. This did not make us not exist anymore. It actually made us change the way we do business. It made us change the way we think. But most importantly, it made us change what we really knew about ourselves. And what do I mean by that? I mean that oftentimes we didn't know that we were so incredible and so powerful. But this COVID-19, if we really look at the good that happened within the pandemic, we can say that so many of us had to recreate ourselves. We had to write books. We had to do business online. Many people never even knew how to use a computer, but they learned how to use a computer. And today, before we get really going really well, I always say, go ahead and get you something to drink. So I'm going to take a sip. Go ahead. You do the same thing. Ooh, that's good. I am drinking lemon tea today. What are you drinking? Go ahead and put it in the comment below. So, as we get started, come on in, gather around my table, honey, gather around my table, get in where you're fitting, because I always got room around my table for you. So, today is your power is what? Yeah, your power is your strength. It's unequivocal. Your story is your power. Your power is your strength that keeps you moving when everything else tells you that you should stop. So tonight, I've got three awesome young ladies here. They are going to help you ignite and take flight and step up and take control of every area of your life. Now, my first guest that's on the show tonight, many of you have seen her. She's been on several talk shows and she's like all over on this show and that show. Why? Because she's got an incredible story. She was abandoned many, many years ago in India. She was taken from her parents and placed in a rice bag and grabbed in the middle of the day and taken away from her family and put into a system where they adopted her and they brought her here to the United States. And yes, she was abandoned, but she was not forgotten. And tonight, we're going to have a wonderful talk with our guest coming up. But make sure you stay tuned because at 7:30, we're going to have some other phenomenal guests. But for now, go ahead, get your pen, get your pad, get ready to take down these wonderful nuggets and get you something good to drink. Let me have another sip. Ooh. And make sure you like, share, and tell your friends to come on in because it's time to win on the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. Here we go. Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Hello and welcome back to the show. This is the Lotus Richey Ignite Show where we don't stop. Why? Because we will not, we cannot, and we will not be stopped. And today on the show, I have the wonderful author and just entrepreneur, the wonderful Dana Priyanka Hammond. She is the author of this wonderful book right here, Abandoned But Not Forgotten. Welcome to the show, Dana.
Thank you so much, Lotus. I am so excited to be here, first of all, in the show. I can't even tell you what I've just endured and what I've gone through, but I won't let even that to stop me. So I'm excited to be here. And guess what, guys? I just wanted to tell you, even with me not being put together or anything, I had to be persistent and I had to be on here. I had a flat tire. Somebody hit my car, ended up getting a flat tire, got stuck, and I called Lotus up and said, hey, Lotus, guess what? I'm going to have to make it the way it is and just come as I am. So right now I'm currently in the tire shop, knowing for the fact that I won't get the chance to leave here till 6 p.m. But guess what? I'm making it do because of the success that there is in my life. And you can also get the success in your life if you got the drive and the tenacity to do what you have to do to be successful.
Wow. Awesome. So guess what, folks? Just like Dana said, it happened just the way she said it. Someone ran into her, bust her tire, and now you're at Firestone, right?
I am right here as we speak. Here's the outside, here's the tire place, and I'm just making it do.
She's making it do what it do, y'all. So she's at Firestone, but she's here because she wants to share her story with you all around the world. So if you've ever had an instance where something like this happened to you, you ever had a flat tire? You ever had somebody hit you? If you ever had a flat tire before, put it number 2 in the comment bar below, because I sure know that I've had a flat tire. But if you've ever been hit before and you kept persevering, go ahead and put a number 3 in the comment bar below. Go ahead and put a number 3 in the comment bar below. All right, there we go. So Dana, I want to thank you so much for persevering because, of course, we said that tonight this show is about having your story be your power. So would you tell our folks tonight a little bit about who you are? Tell us about your story of when you were taken from India, away from your family, and placed in a rice bag and were brought to this country. And before we do that, I want to give a special shout out to Selena Pinashimo. Good to see you, and I'm happy you're on board with us. So please, Dana, tell us a little bit about who you are and about your story.
Well, I must have purpose because I'm still living and breathing till this day. And I'm here and alive and just being able to talk to everybody on the show. So what I am and who I am is not what my past made me, but who I am is a living proof of a testimony for sure. I'm Dana Priyanka Hammond. I was abducted and abandoned in a rice sack on a train and brought to America just to be abused. My circumstance did not put me down, although many times I wanted to give up and quit, even be suicidal. But God did not allow that to stop me or be me. And that was not my purpose or intention to be that, to be a dead body in the soul, but become a living body in the soul, to give life to other people and to share my story. So, but yes, that's pretty much it.
That's awesome. So she said, that's pretty much it. I tell you, that's not it. Dana has persevered in this country, being away from her family of origin, but it didn't stop her from writing her second book. She had a first book that came out where she co-authored with some wonderful women. And Dana, you want to tell us a little bit about your first book and then tell us about your new book?
Actually, my first book ever was my cookbook. It was 10 Indian recipes. I did it myself. I self-published it. And then after that, I co-authored with some women in a book called Tear the Veil. And it was an empowerment of women where we empowered each other, we encouraged each other, and it strengthened us to getting us to the next level where we needed to go, which allowed me to go to the next level, to share the rest of my story and release the rest of my story now in a book called Abandoned But Not Forgotten. And now here I am, successful as I can be, and being able to release the true story that I've been wanting to release for a long time, since 2008.
Awesome. So I know when we talked before, you talked about the fact that you had this book inside you since 2008, but there were just things that stopped you and you just couldn't get it done. So can you tell us what was it that helped you to finally get your book done? Because I know a lot of times we have these hectic lives. And I know you have a sweet little baby girl. And when we have children, sometimes we're mommy, we're wife, we're working, we're manager, we're business owner, we're entrepreneur, we're book writer. And sometimes all those things get in the way of us doing what God has intended for us to do. And we go down that path sometimes, and it takes us a while to get where we're going. So what kind of kept you from doing it? And then tell us what got you over the hump and got you to do it.
Actually, one thing that I battled against was discouragement. I battled against discouragement. I battled against just several warfares of just going through a warfare in my story alone. Just knowing for the fact that the enemy did not want me to share my story to others and to everybody around the world. And because he knew for the fact that this was going to help somebody, to help another person and rescue somebody, he was trying to stop my purpose and my destiny of sharing my story in the first place. And also because this is my life story, I couldn't allow the enemy to stop me from my own experience that I went through in my life, just for my blessing to be stopped. What encouraged me is when I first heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Hey, Dana, this is what you need to do. This is what I want you to do." I said, "No problem." What really encouraged me to walk in obedience is because what he did for me, which was he saved me when I needed him the most. He rescued me when I needed him the most. And I was seeking for a God to serve. I was seeking for somebody to have a relationship with, someone who would not let me go. And no matter what I did in life, no matter what my circumstances were, no matter how I behaved or how my attitude was, he would never neglect me, saying that, oh, well, Dana, oh, because you acted this way, you're no longer my child. No, that never was the case and never became the case. And that's why, because of the obedience and because of him loving me that much, it gave me the strength and the energy and the courage to go on and move on. Even many times I have stopped. I can't even tell you how many times, like I've stopped like a year. I didn't want to do anything with my story. I stopped 2 years. I didn't want to do because of discouragement, because of people getting in the way, because of me needing healing in my process in my life. And that's why it took so long to write my story, because it was my experience. It was my life that I went through. And I needed to walk through the healing journey just as much as the next person next to me needed their healing journey. So I'm no different from Joe Blow down the street. I'm no different, because till this day, I still need my healing. But I have succeeded because I did not stop my process of overcoming. I walked through the painful process. Yes, the process, going through the healing journey is very, very painful. It's going through hell. And if you have to go through hell, through high waters just to get your deliverance, you got to do that. You got to press past that circumstance. And that's what I did. I continued to press past, even though I could not see my outcome. I could not see the results. I had to press past the circumstance. I had to press past the who am I? I'm a nobody. How am I going to be successful? How am I going to earn this money? You know, just anything that stopped me in my life circumstance. I had to press past that and see the brighter picture in the end. And I'm being honest, I didn't know that I was going to be this successful. I did not know that I was going to come to this level where I'm at even now. That's how I became who I am even now.
Wow. You said a mouthful. Now, folks, I heard her say press past. And I left that up there for you guys because I want you to know that no matter what you're going through, you need to press past. And I want to acknowledge a few people that's on with us that's pressing past. I want to say hey to my brother, my friend, Bernardo Garcia, who presses past. He's pressed past all his obstacles in life. So thank you for joining. Mary Riche, my mom, she's on. She pressed past, because if it wasn't for her and my father pressing past, Lotus Riche ignites. None of this would even be possible if it was not for my mother pressing past and my father pressing past. And although my father is not with us any longer on the earth plane, guess what? He left me some golden nuggets because I took down notes. I took down notes because my father gave me a schematic. My mother gave me a schematic. And that's why I always say note takers are money makers. You know why? Because even in the middle of the middle, when you're not doing your best, if you just press on past and take what your parents have taught you, take what hard situations have taught you, take what people talking about you and saying negative things to you and about you, press past it. And when you press past it, you will come through. And like Dana said, she was going through hell, but I tell you, go through hell and keep going. Go on and keep going. I always talk about Gladys Knight. She's one of my favorite singers. And I remember Gladys Knight had this song, and she would always say in this song, keep on keeping on. And I challenge each and every one of you out there to keep on keeping on. So I want to say hey to my brother all the way from Ohio, Sean Siegel. Great to see you as always. Ida Rizampesi with Gimski TV. She is the proud owner of Gimski TV. If you don't know about Gimski, now you know. Gimski is exploding on the scene. They're launching next month. And don't forget to get with me. I will share with you about Gimski TV. They are a magnificent company. And if you don't know, now you know. Ida and my wonderful friend, Mariska Norden, are the owners of Gimski TV. And you always see it. We always say it. Yes, I love Gimski TV. And if you are the seventh person that types in the comment, I love Gimski TV, and I can see it, I'm going to go ahead and put your name up there. That's right. I'm going to put your name up there, but you got to say it. You got to type it. And here, let me do this for you because I want you to spell it right. Okay. All right. I'm going to put that up there for you. And you got to say, I love Gimski TV. And you know why I say that? Because Gimski TV means the God in me sees the God in you. And see, when you see the God in someone else, you could press past. You could help them press past. Wow, Dana, I love what you were saying. We got a lot of threes. We got a lot of press pass coming in and so forth. We've got people streaming in from all over the place. And I just want to say hi to everybody. Wanda T. Bass, it's good to see you. Wanda T. Bass is amazing, folks. If you guys don't know her, I'm going to bring Wanda on the show because she's amazing. Wanda recreated herself and just came up. She had gone through a divorce, her and her husband, and they partnered up. Why? Because they knew when you mastermind with people, when you collaborate, you can come together. We're stronger together than apart. Glenn Edwards, is good to see you. Coretta Anita Smith, wonderful. Oh my God. I got to tell you guys about Soretta Anita Smith. You're going to love her. Deborah Cafaro, my friend from Japan. It's good to see you. Thank you so much. You guys see me looking down because I'm looking at my phone. You know, sometimes electronics don't work the way you want them, but that is all right. Gregory Taylor, good to see you. Happy to have you here. So let's get back to it. It's 7:24, and in 6 minutes, somebody else was supposed to come. But I asked them, show up early because they're professional. They're here. And in a couple minutes, we're going to bring them on, but not before we talk about this. Know that you are loved. How did you know that you were loved, Dana? You were taken from India. You were put in a rice bag like a cattle. But
yeah, I honestly, I did not know that I was loved in the beginning. I felt unloved. I felt like an outcast. Alongside, I felt like a walking dead ghost. Wow. Just a dead spirit walking on this earth. Like I wasn't even a fleshly being. That's how I can describe it. That's how I was extremely mistreated. I was invisible to the Caucasian world, the people around me, the people who adopted me, the people who were supposedly my family, just in general. And so I did not, because I was so void of love, I did not even experience my first love until I first experienced, I had that God moment, that God experience. And then I kid you not, I'm not lying to people here when I tell you this. That was the first time I ever experienced love. And even the little amount of love that he poured down from heaven, my knee literally buckled in. And the Lord shared it with me that, Dana, this wasn't even a lot of my love that I'm giving to you and pouring down to you. Your flesh body could not even handle what little that you even, what I could give you, is because you were that void of love to a point that even the little amount of love that I gave you, your knees were buckling in and you almost fell to the ground. And that was the truth. And I was like, my God, Lord, have mercy. What is this? Wow. And so that's how I first experienced love and knew I was loved. Because first of all, when God says that you are loved and you are important and you are special and you are somebody, that means that you have meaning in your life. You have value in your life when others, the fleshly mankind, they ostracize you, when they treat you like you're a nobody, you're disgusting nothing. And they may treat you like you're a nobody and you have no value. That's because they don't know value when they see value. And what happens to a diamond? When a diamond gets treated like a cubic zirconian, that means that somebody misplaced a diamond in the wrong place and put a diamond in the wrong shelf on the ground when it belongs on the high shelf. That's what happens to a diamond when they misrepresent and think that a diamond is a cubic zirconian, they put it in the wrong place where it don't belong.
Woo! I told y'all this show was gonna be hot. I told you they was coming and they was gonna use their story because their story is their power. So come on in, come on in. Go ahead and tell a friend and tell your frenemies to come on in because it's time to win. So I'm gonna bring on my next guest. We're gonna take a quick break. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring my next guest. She's going to blow you away. She's a phenomenal woman. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her when we come back from this quick break. You are going to love her. Be right back. Welcome to the Lotus Rashay Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. It's here. We here, folks. We are here. We are here. We are here. And we're happy you're here. If you haven't shared, liked, and started a watch party yet, what are you waiting for? Because I'm giving you some nuggets today, along with my friends, my sisters, the ladies that are here today, because their story is their power, and they came to empower you in this Lotus Rashay Ignites hour. So please welcome my first guest, Dana Priyanka Hammond. She was talking to you about the fact that she was abandoned in India. She was grabbed in a rice bag and brought to the United States, but it didn't stop her from writing her books. And this is her new book. And what is it called? Abandoned but not forgotten. But not only is she not forgotten, she's joined, because guess what? Success leaves clues, but also success has company. So please welcome my wonderful guest, my amazing guest, the Democratic nominee, State Senate District 23. Yes, it is Mrs. Sarita Anita Smith. She is here with us today. Hey, how you doing? We can't hear you, darling. Turn your mic on.
All right. Let's ignite and take flight. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm excited.
Well, you should be. Congratulations. You ran a fabulous race. You did your thing. You pulled it out. You were everywhere. And let me tell you, honey, I really appreciated the shout out that you gave me yesterday by phone. I looked in my text message and I saw you there, and I really appreciated you for doing that, because of course we can't forget our sisters that's out here on the trail, that's out here in the trenches, making it happen for everybody, not just for the sisters. They making it happen for everybody of every color. Like I always say, I'm bringing inspiration to every nation. Well, the folks I work with are bringing inspiration to every nation. We just starting right here in America. So I'm super happy for you, darling. Congratulations. And please, would you please tell our folks a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Wow. So thank you again for bringing me back on the show and giving me an opportunity to share with the audience, visitors. I don't know. I was in the ER today. I'm still thinking about being in the emergency room with my son. But as you said, I'm Sarita Smith, and I am the Democratic nominee for State Senate District 23 here in Georgia. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited about clinching the nomination for the Democratic Party. I'm a wife. I've been married. I hit 26 years last month. I have 3 adult sons. And I'm a United States Army veteran. Come from a line of veterans. My father fought in the Vietnam War. Uncles, brother, cousins. So serving my country, come from a lineage of people that served their country. After I served my country, I still wanted to stay connected to the military community. My husband was still active duty. We were still traveling. And so I became a federal government employee. And I worked for the federal government for about 25 years up until September of last year, when I actually deferred my retirement to pursue this particular seat. Now, while I was working for the federal government, I became a union activist, got involved in the labor movement. And I believe that labor rights and human rights and civil rights is all intertwined. When you talk about one, you're talking about the other. Because after all, slavery was about labor. Free labor. That's what it was all about. It was about labor. And so we see that within that, there was civil rights that were being violated as well as human rights. So that's where I actually got my start in politics in the political arena. Every year, I was excited to go to DC and sit down and talk to congressmen and women and senators and go to the state capitol and talk to our legislators on behalf of working Georgians and veterans and federal government employees. And so I've been watching this particular seat. The current senator ran unopposed for 2 terms, no Democrat counted him for 2 terms. And I made up my mind that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of the disenfranchised not having a voice, of people not having a seat at the table, and everyone not being represented at the table. And so here we are making history.
Yes, we are. And congratulations. So, folks, I see you streaming in. I see you, Keith Taylor May. Good to see you all the way from PA. Arthur Andre Ruff is watching. Hey, Arthur, good to see you. So let us know where you coming in. Oh, my God, the celebrity Artie Gibbons herself. She is on the box with us. She's watching. Folks, let us know where you coming in from. Go ahead and put in a comment where you coming in from. And guess what? When you put, if you are the seventh person to put in your comments, we love Gimski, guess what? I'm going to give you a free gift. And I'm going to tell you what that free gift is later. But guess what? I got another gift for you coming up. Not only do I have the remarkable author of Abandoned but Not Forgotten on. Not only do I have the Democratic nominee for State Senate District 23, I have another special guest for you. Oh, I told you. Tonight, we are talking about our story being our power. Now, if you really want some more power for the hour, I got some power for you right here. And she's backstage. And if you want me to bring her to the platform, you got to put a number 6 in the comment below. Put a 6 in the comment below, because not only is she here, but she's ready to help you, like my other guest, ignite and take flight, because you're going to start taking some control over your life. And it's going to start tonight. No more holding back. No more making excuses. Step into your brilliance. That's why we're here tonight. So what I want you to do is go ahead and put up. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just looked down. I got 6s popping up all over the place. So I guess I got to bring her on. I guess I got to bring her in. Should I bring her in, ladies?
Bring her on in.
Go ahead, bring her
on in. Now, if you don't know how to talk to people or how to get a job, if you're an entrepreneur and don't know how to tell people you want their business, well, guess what? Wait no longer, because tonight I brought somebody special. Well, she ain't special. She is it. Not special. She is over special. And tonight you're going to learn how to deliver a killer pitch. Welcome my guest, the phenomenal Precious Killer Pitch. What? Master.
I gotta go, babe.
This is Precious Killer Pitch Master Williams. And look, she's on the phone handling business, helping people. What's going on, girl?
Hey.
Wow.
Hey, everybody. I'm great. How are you?
Doing wonderful. So, Precious, I would like you to meet our friends, Miss Dana Priyanka Hammond. She is the author of Abandoned but Not Forgotten. And I'd like you also to meet the phenomenal Democratic nominee for State Senate District number 23, Miss Soretta Anita Smith.
I'm so happy and delighted to meet you, ladies.
So
delighted.
Likewise.
And so some of you may not know my present guest, but a lot of you do know her globally, because Precious Killer Pitch Master Williams is just that. She slays all competition, and she gonna teach you how to slay all competition. She's been on Shark Tank. She's been on CBS. Any great platform, she's been there. And I'm not bragging on her. I'm just telling the truth. So
sometimes when you tell the truth, people can feel a certain type of way. It's all good.
But you know what? You got to feel what you got to feel. But killer pitch master, she keep it real.
Hashtag killer pitch master. All I do is play all competition. That's all I do.
All right. So Precious, tell them a little bit about you. Tell them a little bit about your story, because our story is our power.
You better believe it. You better believe it. So good evening, everyone. My name is Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. I teach the art and the science and the most killer elevator pitches, media pitches, investor pitches, and speaker pitches. Hey, D, I see you, love. And so how did I even get started? I've been a international professional speaker since I was 16 years old. And I'm now 41, which means I've been doing this 25 years. I didn't become the killer pitch master until I started winning pitch competitions from 2011 to 2013. So I'm a 13-time national elevator pitch champion. I'm an international professional speaker, meaning I'm not faking this. I really am all over the world teaching on pitching and being a great speaker, being hashtag booked and busy, even in a time like this. And so as a woman from the Midwest, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a very, very dark circumstance. My mother just never liked me, and my father was a drug addict. And so, it's funny. I remember being really young and hearing this voice saying, "You're a star, you're going to make it." Mm-hmm. But all I saw was projects, hood living. So I didn't know how to really hear it and really hear it well. But as my mother used to keep telling me I was ugly, stupid, I'd never make it. And, I'm going to, live and die in the hood. And I'm like, no, that ain't going to be my story. But that's God, right? That's God, right? And so,
right.
So, my mother almost beat me to death on November 18th, 1991. Obviously, I'm still here. So that's the first miracle. I was to go live with my father, who is and was a severe crack cocaine addict. That was a very dark, dark time. When I was 15 years old, my grandparents stepped in, especially my grandmother, Precious Williams, and they asked my father to let them raise me because I don't know, my grandmother just had this thing about me. Like, she saw me before I ever saw myself. And so I remember walking into their house for the first time. I smelled food, like really good soul food. Oh my God. And I didn't have to, I didn't have to beg, borrow, and steal to get it. You know what I mean? And she used to make me do affirmations. And she's like, you have the gift of speech. Mm-hmm. She said, there was something special when you were born. And she said, I knew it. And I'm looking at her like, Jigga who? Jigga what? All right. And so she made me do affirmations. Oprah's going to know your name. You are the best in the world at what you do. And just really pouring and speaking life into someone who never felt anyone saw me. But when I look back, my grandmother saw me.
Yes.
And so when I was 16, I went into Beaumont High School within the city of St. Louis, Missouri. I started off in special education classes. But my grandmother was, let's be clear, my grandma was like, she gonna be in special education classes for long. Watch this. Mm-hmm. And I went within 1 week from special education classes to AP classes. Mm-hmm. And I spoke differently from most of the young, the kids that I was around. Mm-hmm. And when I was 16, the principal of my high school came to me. He said, I want you to speak at this event. And I'm like, I don't care. Did I write my speech? No, I did not. My English teacher wrote my speech. All I did was get up there and deliver. And it was so weird. At 16, I knew how to give it, even though I had never seen the words before. Mm-hmm. Didn't care to practice the stuff we don't do today. But I was 16, and you expect that out of a 16-year-old. But I just knew what I was doing. I was so good. It was before the mayor of the city of St. Louis, Mayor Freeman Bosley Jr. And then I spoke with the governor. I'll never forget that. So many people were taking an interest in me, this little hood girl who could speak and could move people with words.
Yes.
And my grandmother was there for I didn't do nothing alone. My grandmother drove me to school, picked me up. If I had to be somewhere, best believe they both were retired. So Precious was going to go get there in style in a 1997 Corsica or a minivan. Like, yo, I'm stunting in the hood, stunting. You know what I mean? And so my grandparents were there every step. I've eaten every rubber chicken dinner, rubber steak dinner, rubber fish dinner. I've eaten it all. And I was all over the state of Missouri speaking. And then I told him I'm going to go to college, and my grandparents thought I was going to stay in St. Louis. And I'm like, no, ma'am, not I. I don't want her body to know me in St. Louis. I want to, and it's funny the way God speaks, because He told me that I'm going to be world famous. And you think about being famous as a young person, and it's in sports or entertainment.
Yes.
Everything. The reason why I used to get in trouble was for talking so much is going to be the reason why I'm on the world's greatest stages.
And you know what's so funny? The talkers always get in trouble in school because of talking, not because you bad kids. Because I used to get my report card. It would always be good, but they would always say, Lotus is very loquacious. And my dad, he was very skilled with language. And I thought loquacious was a good thing, right? But he explained to me, no, baby, that means you too talkative in class. You need to be quiet.
Yeah, I used to get patted up by the principals. They don't do that no.
No, they don't do that no more. They might need to bring that back.
When I tell you, when you're defiant, and I've always been a trailblazer, I didn't realize it. Now that I'm 41, I look back on so many of my life experiences. My grandmother was so bomb that when her kids would say, you don't make Precious clean up, you don't make Precious iron, you don't make Precious do this, she was like, Precious, that's the golden child. She gonna pay people to do that.
Hello.
Think about that. My grandma was an older woman. She was in the 60s. What 50-year-old woman would tell her kids about a 15, 16, 17-year-old, like, that's a golden child? She gonna pay. People gonna do that for her.
And see, this is the thing. And this is why, folks, tonight we wanted to share that our story, your story, is your power. Okay?
Definitely.
Dana Priyanka Hammond, her story is her power.
Yes.
All right. We got Soretta Anita Smith here. Her story is her power. And of course, we got the remarkable, precious, killer Pitchmaster Williams sharing our stories with you tonight. So if you've got any questions as we go, don't hesitate. Put them in a comment below. And don't forget, get your notepad. If you don't already have your notepad and a pen, what are you waiting for, baby? Note takers are money makers. If you broke, you ain't taking no notes. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. So let me ask you something. Precious. You sitting here on this interview with a woman of color who has just been nominated for the Democratic nominee state Senate District 23. Wow. This is a far cry from what we've seen in the past, because a lot of platforms, and all of us have talked about this, a lot of platforms women are not even welcome to, especially women of color.
Definitely.
So let me ask you about this. What one sentence would you say to our wonderful Democratic nominee for State Senate District 23, Mrs. Soretta Anita Smith? What would you say to her?
Fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold. You can choose to be like everyone else before you, or you can create your own lane. But I promise you, fortune favors the bold. Those who boldly proclaim that it's time for change. Those who boldly come in with innovative and fresh perspectives. Those who are really there not to prop up the establishment, but also to create, not those who are just there to prop up the establishment, but to also make it inclusive for others. It's almost like this. As a trailblazer, we get cut up, we get cut up and bruised up, but the person behind us won't have to go through that because we took it. And the great Ty Goodwin always says this to me: until you step into your purpose, another woman can't step into hers. Some people need to see it, but if you're a visionary, you create it.
Yes. I love it.
Beautiful. I'm taking my notes.
So what would you say back? What would you say back?
That's so on point. It's that is the whole reason why I'm even pursuing this, why I'm doing this. I talk about in my role as a union leader when I would sometimes go to visit with the sitting legislators, whether they were at the nation's capital or the state capital. And a lot of times when I would go in, I felt like they were listening to me, but they didn't hear me. I felt like there was a disconnect, like I couldn't relate to this average. You know, I don't have a name, so I don't have name recognition, but I do have name recognition. If you because I'm the daughter king, I'm the king's daughter, so yes. I do have name recognitions in the heavens. But I don't come from a family of wealth. You know, I'm not a Clinton or a Trump or. You know, I don't come from a family of wealth. I don't have name recognition. I just know what I heard God say do. And so I felt like there was a disconnect. And I feel like many of the people that sit in these positions, they are disconnected from their constituents. They don't understand, you know, what it's like to live from paycheck to paycheck. You know, they're millionaires. So they don't understand the struggle of the single mother or the single father who's having to work 2 and 3 jobs just to keep the basics. I'm not talking about going to a movie or on vacation. I'm saying just to get food on the table, just to keep a roof over the head, just to keep clothes on the back. They don't understand the 600,000 people here in this state that don't have health insurance. Mm-hmm. You know, they can go to the emergency room and pay $5,000. You know, for their health care, but there was a disconnect. And I said, you know what? We need a fresh voice. We need somebody who really cares about people, someone who's really going to be a voice and speak up for the people and listen and understand the people. A part of my platform is human and sex trafficking. So to listen to her testimony and to hear her testimony, I want to connect with her because I'm going to be doing a forum where we're going to be talking about human and sex trafficking. And if you look at it, a lot of your wealthy people and people in politics and high places, they're the ones that are involved in this human and sex trafficking. And so, you know, I'm you know, I get fired up. But
well, I would rather you as a new politician get fired up than to just run into just saying what the establishment wants you to say. Yes. I once watched a documentary, and just because I can't remember the name of it, I'm gonna call it string theory, or game theory. And it was about if you take a violin, you take all these violins, they all start sounding the same.
Yes.
When you have a game changer or a change maker, you sound different. Mm-hmm. However, the longer you're in the process, you become the establishment.
Yeah.
And so your strength sounds like everybody else. But when the new fresh perspective comes in, you're hitting them with experience, name, all that other kind of stuff. And it's like, hold up. You were once, a lot of us were once there. And so what I really want to say to you, and that's you always talk about people creating their own lanes. I didn't have name recognition. I might have been in the hot stuff in Missouri. But I went to school at Spelman, graduated. I went to Georgetown University Law Center. I went to Rutgers School of Law, all on full scholarships. And I still felt uncomfortable because I never felt like I fit in.
Yes.
Not realizing that what God was putting me on a path for was you're not meant to. But I didn't learn that until I got older. I'm not meant to fit in. You find the tribe that fits your vibe. You speak for those that are the voiceless and underserved, because nobody is. And my last point to this is the way we look at people who are less fortunate, like as celebrities go up the ladder, not everybody started from the top. Some people had to grind and do strange things for some change to get there. All of a sudden, they're defined by the Louis, the Gucci, the Prada, the Fendi, all of this other kind of stuff. And I want to remind people, if you don't have that stuff, it doesn't take away from your value. Yeah. It really doesn't. We've been made as a society. If you listen to how certain people talk, they would denigrate poor people. They will denigrate people who live in certain communities. They will do that. Yes. Most people are like that if you really want to be. And so the way we try to get out of that is by having all the names and the labels around us, because internally we've been told we don't have value.
Yes.
And so when I see you, it gives me hope, because it's not, a lot of people don't have hope. And that happened before the pandemic. That happened before George Floyd. It happened before Breonna. It happened before Ahmaud. And let's talk about, we haven't heard all the people we don't know about.
Right.
Yes.
These are the ones that came to the surface.
Right.
So I'm gonna stop talking, but for me, I need fresh perspectives, and I need people who go against the grain. Because if you go up the ladder, Queen, there's so many people who wish that they had the courage to do what you're doing. They hear God speaking, but they don't think that they can do it. What you're doing is truly offering them hope, and that you can change, and you get your tribe around you and you go kick booty.
She says, you said something. You said, there was a time where you didn't feel like you belonged. And for me, that was most of my my teenage years, even into my early adult life. I felt like the black sheep. I wrote a book. I have a book called The Black Sheep, A Leader in These Latter Days. And so I never fit in. I was the awkward shaped girl. They called me olive oil, chicken, toothpick, spaghetti. So I was always teased because I was very skinny. I didn't love myself. I didn't like who I was. And, I carried that over with me into my adult life. And one day I heard God say, research sheep. And I just, looked up sheep. And the first thing that popped up was the picture of a black sheep. And so I knew that God wanted to deal with me with this issue that I had. But when I researched black sheep, it transformed my thinking. It changed my life. The black sheep were your leader sheep. So whenever the other sheep were lost, the shepherd knew that if he could find the black sheep, he would find all the other sheep, because they followed the black sheep, because the black sheep were different.
What did I as you were talking?
I wrote a book.
I'm loving it.
From that moment, I loved who I was. I had to say, God, forgive me for not loving me the way you created me. You made me perfect just the way that I am. And from that moment, I understood that he made me different because my purpose was different. I'm a leader.
Yes.
And I can't escape it no matter how hard I try. And so I just ask people, when I'm starting at the State House, I'm going to the White House. And when you see me, if I've gotten high-minded and, pull my coattail and show me this video and remind me of the things that I said. Because I don't want to change. I want to be this person 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now.
Wow. I mean, that was explosive, and I love it. I want to say hi to Alexander Ortiz, all the way out of PA. Renetta Arnold, hey, amazing coach in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Douglasville. I think she's still up in Douglasville. Good to see you. Everybody coming in, put in where you at so people can get at you and get with you. They can't get with you if they don't know where you're at. Put where you're at, please, please, please put where you're at. So, wow, I got to tell you folks that's just coming in, if you don't know what's going on here today, we are sharing with you that our story is our power. And if your story is your power, I want you to put a number 7 in the comment bar below. Your story is your power. And then I challenge you, tell us a little bit about how you feel about your story being your power. I mean, did your story help you come out of your silence? if you were oppressed, if you were raped, if you were mistreated, if you were passed over by a job or something like that because of your color, whether it be black, white, Hispanic, whatever. If you were passed over because you were a woman, if you were passed over because you were a man, if you were passed over because they thought you were too young, if you were passed over because they thought you were too old, or how about this? You have too many credentials. We can't hire you because you're overqualified for the job. Put a 7 in there. Put a 7 in there. And also tell us about your story, because your story is your power. So I'm going to shift over to Dana Priyanka Hammond. Dana, you've heard what Precious has said. You've heard what Soretta has said. What do you think about our wonderful nominee as she is persevering, as she's moving to the Senate? What words of encouragement would you give her? And I think we got some folks saying that their computer is restarted. Precious will be right back. Her computer is restarting. So go ahead, Dana. The floor is yours. What words would you give her?
Well, first of all, I'd like to add in the piece with this. I heard everything that both of you ladies have said. It's been phenomenal. It's crazy that this topic is even being talked about. Yes, we are not predicated by what we have, like things and items and stuff like that. That doesn't make us. What makes us is, what values us is what we have to offer, what's inside of us, what God put inside of us. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but we are the Garden of Eden. Inside of us is the Garden of Eden. So everything that we have to offer is inside of us, and we have to walk in that discovery road of recognizing who we are and whose we are. Once we find out who we are, we can offer a lot more than what we thought that we could offer. That's what I do want to say. And there's nothing that you can ever touch that does not turn into gold. I highly believe that every single thing that I touch turns into gold. It's not cursed, but it's blessed, because that's who I am. And God has made me to be a flourisher, a abundant maker, a abundant creator. And so I wanted to state that, Senator, I want you to be mindful of this, that the adoption trafficking is a huge commodity issue here going on. And because I believe that that's what I went through. And that's why what I'm sharing about my story of being abducted, stolen underneath my family's nose as a human traffic myself. But yet I didn't make it like a lot of human beings have made it. And so I feel that I am a voice for those who don't have a voice. I am the cry for those who need the cry. And God is concerned about those people, concerned about the children, concerned about the livelihoods from infant to birth to 4 years old, and even teenagers. God's concerned about the children, and because they're not even given a life. I did not have a life growing up. So I want you to consider this. Yeah, I am so glad that you're passionate about human trafficking, but there's more than just sex trafficking. There's more than just organ trafficking. There's more than just labor trafficking. There's also adoption trafficking. Put that in mind. Yeah, I do agree with you that all these people in hierarchy, God is going to cast them down. These rich people, wealthy people who are I don't know, you call them pizza pies or whatever they call it, if they're ordering children and they're molesters, child molesters, and yet they're getting gratification over tormenting children, and that is horrifying. I am now a mom to my firstborn child, and I can't even imagine, even with me, who I long for as my mother, what my mother would experience, even with just if she saw me being tormented like that, and just because they want to drink their blood. What kind of high are you getting off of that? What is that? What's the point of that? That's demonic. But that's demonic. So that's one level of why children are being kidnapped. Even in this COVID situation, people cannot be wavered off. It's just a distraction. COVID is a distraction. This looting and all that is a distraction. It's a distraction. So we're trying to attack $1 billion industry that people are still forgetting about because why? They're so zoned in on what's in front of their eyes. Get yourself off of what's in front of your eyes and know what there is actually still happening. $1 billion industry, this giant that we're still trying to cut the head off. Yes. And we cannot create a movement or anything else if we don't have people in agreement and who's willing to say yes. There's a lot of people who are agreeing with us, but they're not willing to create a change about it. And we need more people like me and you who's willing to create a change. And I want to create a change. That's why I'm telling the story, because of what God asked me to do. God asked me to tell my story, and I'm here to tell my story so I can bring a change about, so I can be a voice for those who are voiceless. So I want you to consider, Senator, Congresswoman, there's also this thing going on that I'm not saying all adoption agencies are doing this, but majority of the adoption agencies are human trafficking, and it's happening under our nose. Why is it glorified? In my book, Abandoned But Not Forgotten, that Lotus put up, I mentioned in the end of the chapter, please keep in mind, I tell the story of Hansel and Gretel and why the gingerbread house is so glorified. It's packaged together. It's put together so well. It's so beautiful. But in the end, what's behind closed door? It's nothing but witchcraft. It's nothing but demonic stuff going on. And these little breadcrumbs that the little children put on the trail path. But yet Hansel and Gretel could not be found even through the breadcrumbs because the birds eating it. And those breadcrumbs are the children that get missing every day. And then the real numbers that don't even show in statistically in on our global network. Why? They're not being called in saying that this child is missing. So we don't have the real numbers. Why? Because some of the humans that are being missing are also adoption trafficking. A lot of the adoptees that are being adopted, they have been adoption trafficked. And you know what these orphanages are getting amount from anywhere from $10,000 to $35,000 per child. And then here's a sad news. The sad news is a lot of adoptees like me feel abandoned, feel rejected, feel abused. Why? Why? It's a lie from the enemy. We're not rejected. We're not abandoned. A lot of our families did want us. Our flesh and blood wanted us, but we were stolen. So keep that in mind, please.
Wow. You opened my eyes. I wasn't aware that the adoption trafficking was. So yes, I'll definitely do some more research on that, look into that as well. Wow. Yes,
that's why I want to do a documentary film as well after releasing this story, Abandoned But Not Forgotten, where I will go on a journey to find my birth family. And I'm hoping to get some people, sponsors, somebody to help me to go there and back and forth, and where people can follow me on the documentary film to find my birth family. And then along with it, to show others that if I can do it, it's possible for them to as well. Even if they're from India like me, it's not impossible. You just need a group of supportive team, people who's willing to help you to get there, because you cannot do it by yourself.
You cannot do it by yourself. And let me say this, just powerful. Those of you that's just joining us, I told you I was going to have 3 dynamic, super powerful women here tonight. And we are delivering tonight because, of course, we got our wonderful author of Abandoned But Not Forgotten, Dana Priyanka Hammond. She's here. Our Democratic nominee, State Senate District 23. She won. She won it last night. Mrs. Soretta Anita Smith is here with us. And if you came in late, we have the remarkable Precious Killer Pitchmaster Williams. Her computer is rebooted. She'll be back as soon as she can. But we came to tell you tonight that your story is your power. We want to tell you, don't be discouraged. Know that God loves you. Hear the voice of God and do what my girl Gladys Knight always say. Keep on keeping on. But what Dana was saying earlier, I loved it. She said, you got to press on past. Past whatever your circumstances, you just got to press. And as you press, and just know, go through hell and keep going. No matter how bad it gets, keep going. Because if you don't stop, hell can't keep you.
Come on.
If you don't stop, hell can't hold
Come
you.
on.
Why? Because you're somebody special. You got brilliance inside of you. You got excellence inside of you.
Yes.
You know, I always tell people this. If you look up in that corner right above Soretta's head, you see my logo. That's why I say my parents named me right. I used to hate my name growing up, Lotus. But guess what? The deeper in the mud that the lotus flower grows, the stronger and more majestic and brilliant that the lotus flower becomes. And so I chose that as my logo because I help people to ignite and take flight from all the mud. All the mud is the fear and the pain and the hurt and the rape and the stress and the divorce and the blah, blah, blah. It's all of those things. But you could rise from the mud.
Yes.
The mud makes you strong.
Yes.
So, look, I know that you had some mud. You've come through some mud. You've had some challenges during the race. Can you share with us what's been one of your most challenging moments, even moments that have brought you to tears? And please share what's been one of your most joyful moments.
Wow. I would say one of the most challenging moments for me is being in a training, struggling with fundraising. And then being in a training and hearing that, well, we want to put this out. African-American women, you are going to have a hard time raising money. White women, you are not going to have a hard time raising money. So just even being told by someone who's presenting a training that even we're still dealing with race and still the challenge of me being an African-American woman running, how much harder it is to fundraise and to get support and to get people behind you. I think that's been the most challenging thing for me. I think the thing that has encouraged me the most is when the experts call me and say, you're doing a great job. You are so far ahead of other candidates. There's nothing else we can tell you to do. You're doing everything right. We've looked at your website. We've looked at your processes. We've looked at your form. Look, you are doing great. So to hear that in spite of not having the entourage, in spite of not having, the team of 20, 30, 40, 50 people, in spite of not having, $50,000 or $100,000, my campaign is still, moving forward in a spirit of excellence. We're accomplishing things. We're getting a lot of things done with the little.
Wow.
And I thank God for giving me strategy and speaking to me and telling me when to do, what to do, how to do. So when they say, well, there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
Where there is a will, if you have the will to do it, if you surrender your yes and you say, Lord, I give up a yes, he will make a way. And I'm telling you, he has made a way and he continues to blow my mind every day. That's why, there's a scripture. It says when God is in it, all the lines fall in smooth places. And so
I know that's right.
I know he's in it because all the lines are falling in smooth places. I tell you, when I first started talking about running, I had people say, "Oh, you won't win. You can't beat and he's an incumbent. You can't beat him. You know, there's too many Republicans. You won't, there's too many white people. You won't win. You can't do it. Don't you want to run for something else?" Think about it. Was just so much negativity.
Yes.
That's all I heard was you can't, you can't, you can't, you can't. And clearly they don't know me, because the more you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to show you that with God, all things are possible. And if he said that I can do it. And so when the incumbent decided that he was going to not seek his seat again, I went back to some of those people. I said, okay, now God has moved him out of the way. Now what?
Now what's the excuse? I always tell people, don't make excuses, make moves. Yeah. Don't make excuses, make moves. Because if you don't make moves, the excuses are going to overtake you, and life is going to overroll you. It's going to roll right over your face. It's going to do a cha-cha slide all over your back, and it's going to kick you to the curb. So you got to make some moves and not excuses. So I tell you, whoo, you are bringing it. So now what? So what's next for you?
So we are, with the primaries are over. I'm the nominee, and it's time to get busy for the general election, November the 3rd. And we have, our plan of how we're going to launch out our campaign in 2 phases here. Our signs are coming in tomorrow. So we'll be out putting up our signs all over the place. We just launched our new billboard. We'll be shooting some videos next week. And so we've got lots of things planned. We have a strategic plan, and we're just excited. And I'm just looking forward to continuing to do what I've been doing, which is getting out and talking to the people, getting out amongst the people, listening to the issues that the people have, because I've been saying this and I'll keep saying this. And I hope that I can always remember this. The seat does not belong to me. The seat belongs to the people. They just select someone to come sit in the seat, to be their voice, to speak on their behalf, to be an advocate for them. And so I think that if I can always remember that, don't take the people for granted, because the seat belongs to the people. And just like the people voted you in the seat, the people have the power to vote you out of the seat. And so I think that I'm going to be fine if I can just keep that in mind, hold on to that thought, and remember that I'm only here because people had confidence in me, people had faith in me, people believed in me. They believed me when I said that I'm going to come and sit to the table, and I'm going to be an advocate for you, that I'm going to speak on your behalf, and that I'm going to do things to help make your life better. Because at the end of the day, that's what my job will be, is to make sure that the legislation that's being passed is going to make the lives of the people that I represent the best, that they can live their best lives.
Wow, that's awesome. And I want to thank all of you for your comments, your questions, your support. We really appreciate it. We really, really appreciate it. So our wonderful, precious killer pitch master, her computer is rebooting. You know how it is when things are really strong and the energy is high. We always seem to have computer issues. Computers are great when they work, and computers are great also sometimes when they don't work. But let me tell you this. I gotta tell you about Dana. Tonight, Dana went to, she was headed out. She headed out, came back, and somebody hit her. And she called me and she was like, Lotus, check this out. Somebody hit me. They bust my tire, but I'm here. I got my car to Firestone, but I'm here and I'm still doing the discussion. Why? Because all of you out there are so important. And if you appreciate Dana being here, Go ahead and put a 10 in the comment below. It's a 5 and a 5. You can put 5 plus 5 equals 10, or you can put 10, however you want to put it. But put a 10 in the comment bar if you appreciate Dana being here tonight. Even with, like, she got a busted tire. Someone had hit her car.
Yeah.
And she's still here. Sitting in Firestone for the interview, making sure she showed up. And that's one of the things that Precious talked about. We have to show up, folks. We have to show up in every facet of our life. And that's why I say to people all the time, I'm here to help people ignite and take flight and take control of every area of their life. And so I want to say hello to Dorshana Who Dat Pittman. Good to see you. I've seen you. You've been making some comments, so I really appreciate you. She also said moves, not excuses. That's right. Don't make excuses, make moves, because if you don't make moves, you can't expect somebody else to make moves on your behalf. And unfortunately, a lot of times people do make moves on your behalf, which typically enables you to keep doing the do nothing that you've been doing. So if you want to enhance your life, you want to do better, you got to stand up and take action. You got to know that you can do and be and have anything you want. You got to have the hope that Precious was talking about before. She said, you, Soretta, she said, you are hope. And I put in here, hiking over pessimism every day. So if you are hiking over pessimism every day, those of you that have graced us with your presence, if you are hiking over pessimism every day, go ahead and put a number 9, a number 9 in the comment below. If you are hiking over pessimism every day, put a 9 in the comment below. And so we're going to take this time to give you the opportunity. If you have any questions for our wonderful guest, she's all the way here from Georgia. And tell the folks where you visited from.
Yes, I'm in Grovetown, Georgia. If people are not familiar with Grovetown, most times they're familiar with the Augusta area. It's about 2 hours from Atlanta. Augusta, the home of James Brown. So that's the area that I'm calling from. And Grovetown is just like a suburb right here in the Grovetown area. If you're military, you may know Fort Gordon, the military installation that's here in the Augusta area. So this is home for me, Grovetown, Georgia.
Grovetown, Georgia. And I used to live in Augusta, Georgia. I know many of you Georgians down there worked in Grovetown, know about Grovetown. Grovetown's a little town, but Grovetown get down. Can't you see? Because we got Soretta on the box with us tonight. So, yeah, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to push and press through to be here with us tonight. And I got to tell you, especially for Dana, her phone looks like her phone is going out right now. But when she comes back, I'm going to bring her on because I think Dorshana said that she appreciated Dana for pressing through. So she said, yeah, thank you for pressing through, Dana. And we thank you. But we also thank you, Soretta, because you've been on the trail for like months. How long has it been since you've been on the trail?
So I made my announcement in November of last year. And so I've been out here campaigning since November of last year. And we were going full force. And then, COVID happened. And so we haven't been able to campaign the traditional way that we normally would, canvassing and knocking on doors and doing things like that. But we certainly have been phone banking, using social media. And we've gotten out to some more that, now that they're having all the events for Black Lives Matter, we've been getting out to some of those events. So that's given me some exposure as well and allow me an opportunity to connect and talk to people. So
right. And I know you were headed up to Atlanta too. Before COVID happened, you were a part of the no bullying thing that you were doing. And I say thing because you had an entourage of young kids that you were enhancing their lives. You were causing them to ignite and take flight. You were taking it up to Atlanta. So we know about that. Tell us a little bit about that. Is that still on? You still going to be doing that?
Wanda Hollis, the queen.
The queen.
Yeah, Wanda was having an event about bullying, so we were going to take some of the kids. I wanted to actually take them, to a different city and expose them to what the kids were doing there, so that they could connect and just see some of the different things and programs and that are going on with bullying. So, but they have some great things they're doing here in Augusta with bullying. We have a young man who we call him Baby Madeir. Tyler Perry actually came here to meet him, and he has a no bullying zone. His name is Genesis. And so he dresses up like Madeir, and he goes around to the elementary schools and the middle schools, and he talks to the kids about bullying. So they've got a lot of great things they're doing here.
What's your sister's last name?
Dealing with bullying.
Awesome. Awesome.
Great stuff.
Awesome. So we have a question for you. I want to say hey to D Friday. Thank you for joining us. And folks, if you haven't liked, shared, and started a watch party, I dare you, I triple dog dare you to start a watch party and come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've got room right around my table for you. And for those of you that's just joining us, if you don't know who's on the box tonight, it is hot. We are talking about Your Story is Your Power. We've got the remarkable Dana Priyanka Hammond, the author of Abandoned But Not Forgotten. And of course, we have the phenomenal Democratic nominee, State Senate, District 23, newly elected Mrs. Soretta Anita Smith. And of course, again, if you just joining us, of course, you missed it earlier, but she's coming back because she had a little computer snafu. But we got precious Killer Pitch Master Williams on the box tonight, and we hot. So we're going to take a quick break right quick, and then we're going to come right on back, and we're going to take this question that we got from somebody that's viewing us. So we're going to be right back, and I'm going to bring all the ladies back because we're going to help you continue to ignite and take flight. And guess what? Precious and I got a little secret for you too coming up. So here we go. We'll be right back. Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. We are here tonight with another great show with another powerful influencer that is intended to be here just for you. Woo-wee! I told you it was happening. I told you the computer was coming back up. I told you we would not be stopped. I told you. Precious,
technology,
Pitch Master.
True. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Welcome back to the show. The ladies have been just blowing up the spot, holding it down since you've been dealing with your computer snafu, but you're back and people are on the box. They hot. They got a quick question. Quick question. We're going to take this quick question. Dashina's asked, she said, for you, Soretta, how early in your life did you know that you was going to go into politics? And then once you drop that question off, then we're going to send it to Precious, because we want to know how early you knew that you was going to be speaking and training and telling the BITZ agents how to make killer pictures. I'm going to let you say it when you start telling your thing. Okay, so it's on you, Soretta.
Well, you know what? I can remember in like middle school running for class vice president, and then in high school, running for being a part of the student body, going away to college and running and being a part of the student body. Even when I went in the military and I was in my AIT, I nominated myself to be a part of the little group there. So I've always found myself being part of student body, president, or some type of governmental body from high school to college to even the military. But I found my voice in the union. There's a scripture that says, you have to be the voice and speak for those that can't speak for themselves. And so I never came into the union thinking that I was going to be a union president, or even thinking that I was going to be running for something like a public office. but I found my voice and my purpose there. So it was there all along, but that other voice that was telling me that I was the black sheep, that there was something wrong with me, that I didn't fit in, that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't look right, that I wasn't pretty enough, that I didn't have the smart. There was that voice. So once God dealt with that voice and he transformed and renewed my mind about who I was,
word,
then I was able to find my voice and really begin to walk into the purpose. So it was always there from a child. And I say this in the book. I believe that the greater the call or the greater the assignment that a person has, the earlier the devil starts messing with you.
Word.
So the greater the assignment or the greater the call it is, the devil starts messing with you real early from the womb. Okay? Because he started messing with me real early.
Yes.
But once God transformed my mind and I understood that I'm a leader and I knew who I was, that's when I got my voice, and the rest was just walking it out in God's time. In God's time. So yeah, I hope that answers her question.
Yes. So if that answers your question, go ahead and put a number 4 in the comment block below. And if you guys like the answer that she just gave, put a number 4 in the comment below. Act like you know, and put a number 4 in the comment below. So the Killer Pitch Master is up on the box next. She's going to tell us how she got into speaking and encouraging and giving killer pitches for. She gonna tell you. Go ahead.
I have to thank you, my sister, because you're right. I read this quote a long time ago when I was in the Bowery Mission Women's Center. It said, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So ever since I was a little girl, I was always told I wasn't quite good enough. I didn't quite measure up. I didn't quite have all of it together. Who I am, little hood girl. You cute here in this little fishbowl of Missouri. You're never going to make it. Wow. And at Spelman, you don't come from money. They're going to smell you a mile away. The furthest you've ever been is Blythesville, Arkansas. All right. Okay. Bet. Watch this. So I've been speaking since I was 16. Did I think it was a gift? Not at all. Are you 16? Really? Like, there's no Olympics for speaking at 16, right? Or else I'd have been in it. I'd have been trying.
Pass the baton.
I'd have been trying. I ain't lying. So when I went to Spelman, I was like a student spokesperson. And I just got loved up on and loved up on. So I spoke when I was in college. In law school, we're not going to discuss that because I had a nervous breakdown. First of all, I got kicked out of Georgetown. So 5 years of depression there, because if I'm not a Hoya lawyer, if I don't have that name behind me, I ain't nobody special. I couldn't talk to my line sisters. Wow. I couldn't talk to Spelmanites. I was so embarrassed. If many of my line sisters are watching, they'll tell you she was quiet as a church house mouse. Didn't say nothing for years. When I graduated from Rutgers on May 25th, 2007, I let it all go. Because I was determined no name is going to establish me. No name, not a law school, not a nothing. And so, I was an award-winning attorney, winning all the time in the courtroom, hated it, didn't want to be in the courtroom. I said, if I have to do 40 years of this is a problem because I'm bored. It's the same stuff all over again. I don't want this. So I quit every job I had in 2011, had no money in my bank account. And I literally said, it's time. Mm-hmm. But a part of me couldn't let go of the lawyer because it has certain cachet. I'm Black and I'm an attorney. Yes. Stop playing. So anyway, so I started Curvy Girls Lingerie. No money. How you start a business with no money? I pitched my way into $500,000 from one television appearance. So I went to an event, couldn't afford the event, but God told me, you're going to be on television first. What do you think most people around me said? You fat, you Black, no Ivy League degree. They don't let fat girls on television. I was 327 pounds, not what I am today. I'm definitely much, much smaller. And I just kept hearing God say, television, that's how you're going to make it. Now, mind you, I'm 327. I always dress nice though, but when I went up to the producers at MSNBC at a small business awards, I didn't know how to pitch because no one ever said anything to me in life about it. But when I walked into the producers, I said, I gave a pitch and I didn't know it, and they loved it, and they brought the host of the show. You ever heard of our show, Elevator Pitch? Of course, everybody's heard of that. Act as if. When the end of time, act as if.
Wow.
They brought me the host. The host got called to be on on stage to get an award. So they brought me her booking producer, a tall, elegant black woman who I could tell by the way she looked at me, this raggedy chick. I'm about to embarrass her. No, baby, I'm about to embarrass you. So she asked me to give an elevator pitch. I had no idea what she was talking about, but I was like, lips don't fail me now. If Eminem's Lose Yourself was out, that would have been how I felt in that moment. Mama, I cannot grow old in Salem's lot, so here I go, it's my shot. Feet fail me not. This may be the only opportunity that I got. I'm not a rapper, but I can't. I can write bars. Me and Drake can get together. I can write bars. I'm a poet. So anyway, so I just gave the best that I had, not knowing how to do it. And she said, you're gonna be on television. You're gonna be on the show Elevator Pitch.
Wow.
And I was like,
awesome.
I had no idea what elevator pitch was. And then, the story is so funny, so I'll just shorten it real quick. When they came and picked me up in a Cadillac Escalade and took me to Rockefeller Center, and I pitched, it's an experience I will never forget because everybody told me it couldn't be done by someone who looked like me.
Yes.
And so from then on came CNN. I was CNN's Entrepreneur of the Month for June 2015. Got on Shark Tank in 2016. Never stood in line. They came to me because I'd already prepped people for Shark Tank. And I know one thing about media. It's not that I say I'm great. My clients are going to tell you I am the greatest. And so when they came, I had a private audition and then flew me out. And the rest was history. And what should have been the best time in my life was actually the work. So CNN, Wall Street Journal, Forbes magazine, MSNBC. I did a movie with Sir Richard Branson, his business coach, Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. I've done things and never paid a dime for it. Sat with Les Brown in his program, didn't pay a dime for it because the doors started opening. And if I call myself a motivational speaker, listen, we could be a dime a dozen saying the same thing. That's why I say you have to create your own lane. And as a killer pitch master, that's what I did. And I created award-winning pitches. I created pitches that got my clients on Shark Tank. I created pitches that got them #1 best-selling books.
Wow.
And then companies started paying attention to me to ask, what can I do for them? So when Google called and was like, hey, can you be a pitch coach for a hackathon? Microsoft called. Can you be a pitch for a hackathon? All these doors started opening. And then when I got to speak at LinkedIn, the headquarters, I lost that's right, queen. I lost my mind. And then 3 years ago, I became homeless. I lost everything because the love of my life died. Got into it with my business partner. And I couldn't handle success because what people won't tell you about success is that people put a lot of expectations on you as if you were raised like that. If you say the wrong things, people always want to come at you. And I'm not saying that people don't mess up, but we all aren't at the same place at the same time. I didn't grow up in Hollywood. I didn't do those sort of things. And I grieved for a man I will never see again in this lifetime. But not grieving properly, I took to drinking. And at first it was just to calm my nerves. And then it became the only thing I cared about was making sure I was numb. So I tried to take my life on my 38th birthday. And obviously I'm still here because my cousin saved my life. A friend of mine, Miss Joanne Francis from Bright Point Health, she is a social worker. She often found me in psych wards. But anyway, after I attempted to take my life, she called my aunt because I was in St. Louis. I don't go to St. Louis because it reminds me of death, really. That would have killed my spirit had I lived there since I was 16. So anyway, Miss Joanne Francis battled with my auntie in the hospital. All the longest time that I was there, never paid a dime. She had that taken care of. Not only that, she got them to put me on a Greyhound, sent me back to New York. I didn't know what to expect. I was so scared. People had turned their backs on me and everything. And I went into crisis respite in Gramercy in New York, Gramercy in Manhattan. And then I went into a real shelter for 9 days. And then I went into the Bowery Mission Women's Center. All the beautiful things y'all thought I had them. I didn't have them anymore. So when I walked into the Bowery Mission Women's Center, I had a blue dress, a blue coat, and a backpack. That's all I had. Everything that I had, all those things, all those trappings, gone. So I walked in and I felt really, really bad. And it took me a while to start opening up. And I realized that the way the women treated me, they saw me as someone who was above them. And I was like, I can't be above you from here at all. I'm so humble right now. I'm so humble. And as I went through the program, they realized that I really do have a talent and a gift. So they would send me to I would speak at different fundraisers and raise over 6 figures for, speaking for at most 20 minutes. You know what I mean? And so they told me, great, you don't need to go back to what you used to do, get a great paying job, all that other kind of stuff. And I just couldn't deal with it. I was like, a job? I ain't really trying to do that. And no disrespect to people who have jobs. I just knew I needed to create my own lane and not build somebody else's. I didn't want to build somebody else's bridge, to build their dreams. I wanted to build my own and show that we can do it too.
Yeah.
So I went through the whole program with her almost 2 years. And at the end of the day, the pastor of the church we attended, he and his wife, who looked nothing like me, went to the Bowery and said, we want Precious to come stay with us. We got the whole 3rd floor for her.
Wow.
The whole 3rd floor. And he's white.
Precious,
his wife is white. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Wow.
Darshina said this earlier. Darshina said, when you started talking, she said, God will open doors that no man can shut.
You better believe it.
And I'm going to tell you, you may walk to some doors and have the door shut in your face. But when God opens that door for you, no demon in hell could shut that door and keep it closed. And this is living, breathing women right here. That's why I said tonight it was going to get hot, because we sharing with you that your story is your power. Your story is your power. Ruth Verby says she's so sorry for your loss. And she said, wow, wow, wow. That means your story is amazing. Angela Elting says she loves your spirit. And my sister, my coach, all the way, my friend, all the way from Douglasville, Georgia, Sheandra Hardy said, yes, sis, I know your story. You know why? Because that was her story. That was Sheandra's story. And my friend Live with Larry, the host of Live with Larry, says, awesome, awesome, awesome. You're all great women of inspiration to all people. I love what you do. And again, I want to go to Darshina. She said, create your own lane. If it don't exist, you got to create it. You got to make it. If nobody is bringing you to the stage, we talked about this. Precious and I talked about this the other night, a week ago. We always talk about it. I talked about this with Soretta. I talked about this with Dana Priyanka Hammond. If there's not a stage, guess what? We're creating stages. We're creating stages to be on.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to worry that you don't have a stage. When the stage is presented, you just have to be prepared to come on to the stage.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And you will have people tell you what you can't do. And like I said, when I was in a Bowery Mission, listen, we lived well. We lived in a townhouse in Harlem and in a beautiful home in the Upper East Side. Get it in your mind. We was living large, eating organic food, learning how to cook, learning how to clean. Because donors, listen, they come through. And these donors are expecting it better be beautiful. It better be popping, because we paying a lot of money. And that's why I kept calling it best kept secret. But anyway, I graduated on September 17th, 2018. Came here to live with Pastor James Leonard and his wife and their 6-year-old daughter. And I was a senior sales consultant at a luxury diamond auction house. And I went to the pastor and I said, I'm ready to be Precious Williams again. He was like, you think you can do it? I said, he's like, okay. You go do that. And so my first speaking gig was at Bottomless Closet. And do you know they called me to say, hey, we got a opportunity for you to speak at Viacom. Like MTV, VH1, all that. Yes. You have 2 speaking gigs that day. You'll speak to the women in the bottomless closet and the smart and sexy day. You'll speak to the executives. First of all, Viacom, I pitched at Viacom different shows I created years ago. BET, all of these things. And when I say you're in alignment, it starts to change. Like I walked in there, cried a little bit because I have to do my behind the scenes tea. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm about to walk in it. And they like showing love on Facebook. Go get it, girl. They said you couldn't, girl. Go get it, girl. And I was like, right, I'm about to go get it. And so I walked in, did my thug thizzle, and that was it. Next thing I knew, I was speaking at all of the places I couldn't get into before.
Wow.
One person that I met at the Tory Burch Embrace Ambition Summit, the executive director of Bottomless Closet, she didn't know when I met her I was in a program. I just told her I'm the killer pitch master. She kept that. And so when I was at Viacom, I finally just came clean and I said, after I finished everything, because you want to start with power first before you take them to the story.
Okay.
Because we start with the story of how you did it first, how you made it and how dark as hell and the road is hot, people will see you only like that.
Right. Take notes.
Yes. So when I tell you the doors open so fast and furious, and I'm not joking with y'all. If y'all look at my schedule today, it will shock you. So there are a lot of people who aren't working right now. There are a lot of people who are entrepreneurs and scared to be visible or scared that if they don't talk about this and that. And I'm here to say, listen, you can create your own lane. You really can. And not everybody can inhale everything that's happening with social unrest, the pandemic. Sometimes they need someone to come to that's going to give them the real and show them how to move through a room full of vultures. The industry shady. It needs to be taken over. This is your time. I learned that from Jay-Z. Jigga who? Jigga what? You know what I mean? And I love this song, Encore. Do you want more? Encore. So take this time. For some of us, we need to rest because we work so hard. You need to take the requisite time to rest. And for some of us, it's time to, you know what? Let's kick it up. Let's chop it up. Like men say, we're going to chop it up. Let's chop it up. Let's get out there. Let's get visible. Let's show them that. And I just want to say this one last thing because I don't ever want to feel like I dominate a conversation. If you start to notice as a speaker, I want you to start noticing if you're getting emails and you keep seeing these big companies and you see that they're always inviting the same people, you're probably going to get the same type things every time. I have a different, fresh perspective. So what I've been doing from Price Waterhouse all the way up to the Ascent Conference is I've, responded back. Hi, I'm Precious Williams. Let me give you a little tea on who I am. And I think that I should be one of the speakers at this conference, especially in a time like this. And since you don't know me, let me drop that Forbes article on you. Let me drop some of the things that I've done. So you don't think I'm just trying to come through. No. I've come with talent, but I also come with them names that I never paid for. So let me show you how it's done. When I tell you they have reached back and be like, oh, we didn't know you exist. That's right. Of course you did. Because you keep going with the same tried and true people. So if you're a speaker right now, I really want you to start taking notice of events that you should be speaking at. Gather your research, your marketing materials, and blow them away. Because they not everybody has to know your name. You don't need to be known by everybody. That's actually kind of scary. But you do want to be known by the people in the know. There are billionaires, millionaires y'all have never met, never heard of, and they making bank. You're looking at the standard. The ones you don't know really impact the world. I promise you that.
Wow.
Having been on the private jets, having flown all over the world.
Wow.
You think you've seen stuff. Oh no, it gets so much better than that. Black girl in Italy, Milan, Italy, filming a movie, personal assistant. So look for those opportunities. You may be thinking you want to speak at the places everybody else wants to speak at. Think about the medium-sized companies, organizations, nonprofits. No one talks about them, so they're forgotten. And they're making coin right now. Coin. And they can pay you. You think you can't get paid for virtual events? Are you serious right now? Even if you take the first one on free so they can test you, because sometimes people need to see you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You chocolate chicks up in these streets, chocolate chicks. They're like, all right, well, let me test you out. Will you do that? Because I'm gonna come with my A game and I'm gonna blow you away. And when it's done, let's be clear on one thing. I want warm introductions to this person, that person, this company, this organization, because I know they're giving you coin. Make sure I'm paid. Make sure. That's my big ass. If you know of a women's organization, if you know women speakers, if you know women, and I literally have had allies who aren't allies, they're my friends, who've just been like, oh, Precious, let me hook you up there. Then you need to speak to the high-end jewelers. I'd have been cool with Zales. Okay, I'd have been cool. But you saying high-end, how high-end we talking about? We talking about H. Stern? We talking about Tiffany? We talking about Cartier? Okay, make it happen. Thank you. Your gift will make room for you. And sometimes it takes a while for people to start hearing you. Mm-hmm. But since September 17, 2018 to now, I've spoken at a lot of places around the world. It's because God was in it this time. I did it the first time to show the success because I thought I would never be pretty enough. I will never be tall enough. I'll never be skinny enough. So I need to have all the trappings of success to show that I made it. This time, it's the people you don't know who will open doors.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. Awesome. So with that being said, I want to say this. When I met Precious, I actually hit her up on Facebook because she actually knows someone that I know, Dr. Kai, Coach Kai. Many of you know her affectionately as Coach Kai. Coach Kai was having a phenomenal event in Baltimore. And I had been working so hard that week. And I was going to travel to Baltimore that Saturday morning because something in my mind was like, oh, the event is Saturday morning. When I woke up, I was like, oh, we got to get there. We got to get there. And I called Kai and I said, Coach Kai, this low, I'm on my way, blah, blah. But the event had started on Friday. But Precious was already there doing her thing. So I didn't get to meet her. Okay. So this is so funny because when I contacted her, I was like, I'm going to contact her because she's got an inspirational story. And I want to talk to her because I'm working on some things and we can't tell y'all all of the things right now. Right. But I hit her up and I talked to her and I told her who I was. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, yeah, I know Coach Kai. So it is about who you know and who likes you and try not to burn bridges.
Right.
So we want to share this with you. You want me to tell them? You
drop it like it's hot. You know what we do.
All right. So I see some of you out here saying, oh, coach me, that you ready. You have your suitcase ready. You prepping now. Your gift will make room for you and all that. You know what? Your gift will make room for you. And I hear you saying you ready. You said, let's go create your own lane. Well, guess what? We've created a lane for you. Someone said, mentor me, Precious, mentor me. Well, guess what? We are going to mentor you. So if you really mean what you say and you really want to get mentored, you want to drop an email to lotusignites@gmail.com. And this is what you want to put. And see, I told you the computers be acting crazy when you're about to do something magnanimous. Look, you want to hashtag ignite my pitch. You want to hit us up at Lotus Rashay Ignites. You want to put in hashtag ignite my pitch because then we're going to know you was on this show. And then we're going to bring you into a private mentoring session. So once you hit that lotusignites@gmail.com, ignite my pitch, you got to tell us who you are, what your name is, and why you're trying to reach out to us so we can help bring you in to our private mentoring webinar. So what you got? What you gonna tell them? What you gonna tell them, Precious? What you gonna tell them?
See, y'all may think y'all have heard all that we can do with pitching and speaking. I promise you haven't. You might think, are they just gonna regurgitate what's on Google? Baby, no. Not at all. Not at all. If you are really looking to be hashtag booked and busy, if you're looking to be a bad bitch with a power pitch, yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I said it. And I mean every word that I say. So, you want to be a bad bitch with a power pitch, you want to be hashtag booked and busy. And if you want to know how to rise above the clutter and the noise and the mindless information that's going out there, let us show you how. Trust me. You ain't heard this kind of stuff I'm bringing to the table. You haven't heard the type of stuff that Lotus is bringing to the table. Come see why my book was the number one business bestseller. How did I get Forbes to write about me? Good question, huh? I never paid for PR in my life. And so I really want you to know. What I really want you to know, and I said this to Lotus when we were having a conversation maybe last week.
Yeah.
A lot of people are often told, you know, for exposure or for stuff like this, or you can be on this person's platform or this person's platform. And I made a conscious decision. That I am not here to pump somebody else up or to be looked at as some, like, you can't throw a big name at me. You really cannot. And people will try, and I'm like, so you really don't know who you're dealing with. And I want the same for y'all. When you create your own lane, you're creating opportunity. That's why in the midst of a pandemic, I'm hashtag booked and busy, and so are my clients. You think nobody wants your coaching program, change your messaging.
Yeah.
Well, I said a long time ago, how do you win an unwinnable war? You rewrite the rules. If you change your language, you change the game. And it starts with your messaging. It starts with pitching. It's about how you are presenting yourself, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's as far as I can go because I'm not on TikTok. And I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, like I'm gonna be on TikTok. I'm not. But if those kind of people already know my name, I don't need the exposure. Been there, done that. And you don't either. What you need is a team behind you that are going to mentor you, coach you, teach you, because we had to do it ourselves. And I'm not saying you don't want to associate with big names. Of course you do. But I am saying if you can't, go with people who made a way out of no way because they didn't have access before. So they had to create their own lanes. And I would much rather be with someone who created their own lane than to follow the steps of someone who never had my struggle. So they can't tell you. If you always had money, you don't know what it's like to do it with no money. You don't know what it's like to take what you learn from other people and incorporate and start having rock star confidence. That no matter what they bring to you, you bring me an Ivy League grad, you bring me a tech billionaire, I ain't worried and I'm not scared. Yeah, you heard me. I'm not scared. I ain't scared. And I want for each and every one of you who decides to let us ignite your fire, show you the ropes. And now I'm done. You want to be a bad bitch with a power pitch? You want to be booked and busy? You want to create your own lane? I suggest you put that website up, put that link up so they know to email you and put on Ignite Your Pitch.
All right. So make sure you check us out at lotusignites@gmail.com. You want to be a bad bitch with a power pitch?
You ain't have to say it. I know it might be hard.
You gotta go ahead and hit us up at lotusignites@gmail.com. Hashtag ignite my pitch. Ignite my pitch. And it's a little bit extra to that, but we're gonna try to keep it a little bit clean. All right. But ignite your pitch. Okay. Hit us up at lotusignites@gmail.com. I see a lot of y'all, you throwing up your email address. No. You got to put in the work. You got to get busy, and you got to go to lotusignites@gmail.com and put in there hashtag ignite my pitch. I want to be in the closed, because this is not going to be open for everybody.
Oh, no, this ain't public. This ain't for public consumption. Promise you that.
This is private. And we're going to let you know the date. We're not even going to tell you guys the date right now. We're going to let you know the date, because guess what? If you are committed, it don't matter what the date is. What matters is that you want to be a part of it. What matters is that you got the wherewithal to step up and step out and say, hey, this is what I want to do. LotusIgnites@gmail.com. 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 Ignite my pitch. Why? Because I am a bad bitch. Here we go. What I told you. Power pitches. Bad bitches and power pitches.
So my first book is Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for women entrepreneurs and speakers only. My second book debuts next week on June 16th, and it's called Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, the Workbook. You might want to get on that now.
Yeah, you might want to get that, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. So with that said, we're going to give the floor to the remarkable Dana Bianca Hammond, when we can see her. Dana, are you there?
I'm here.
All right,
can you
fantastic.
See me?
We can't see your face, but we could hear your voice, because your voice is in the place. Even though we can't see your face, you're still in the place. So please go ahead and give your final thoughts.
You know what? I gotta say this. When you hop on somebody else's lane, more likely you're gonna be kicked out. You're going to be booted out, because when you're stealing from somebody else, a thief can't stand.
Woo.
That's what I got to say.
All right. And I know what you're talking about. So thank you, Dana, for being a part of the show tonight. It's been remarkable having you here. And we definitely are having Dana on board with us. Dana is working alongside us. She's got a book, Abandoned but Not Forgotten. She's taking off. So I just want to thank you for sharing. You know, Dana was hit by another car. It exploded her tire. She had to stay right where she is at Firestone. That's why her signal's going in and out. But she's here. She's here for you to help you ignite and take flight. So we appreciate Dana for doing what she does to help you ignite and take flight. So our remarkable guest, the Democratic nominee, State Senate District 23, Mrs. Smith, please have your final remarks.
I just really want to encourage people to exercise their God-given right as a citizen in the United States of America to vote. We had a lot of problems here in Georgia with polling machines and situations at the polls, people standing in long lines. And so, it's time to stop being silent. It's time to stop being complacent and comfortable. It's time to make some noise and hold city officials, elected officials accountable, make them accountable for their actions. And so you've got to open up your mouth. You can't be afraid to speak up. You've got to let your voice be heard. You've got to speak up. You've got to speak truth to power. It's time out for just a few people. You send a few people to speak up for you. No, it's time for everybody to get in the fight. It's time for everybody to get into this fight if we want to see real change. It can't just be on the shoulders. The burden can't rest on the shoulders of a few people. But now everybody's got to get in this fight, and everybody's got to speak up and open up their mouths. And that's the only way we're going to really see change. And just the primary election is over. We have the general election in November. So I don't I'm done. I voted. I'm done. No, it's not over. November 3rd, we have that general election. Get registered. Make sure your family members are registered. Talk when you're out and about. Ask, when you're in restaurants and the malls and all these places. Ask people, are you registered to vote? Carry some voter registration forms in your purse. we've got to do what we got to do, but by any means necessary. You know, if you have to put some voter registration forms in your purse and walk and have them so that when you're out and about and you run across people that are not registered to vote, then that's what you need to do. If you have to pick people up and take them to the polls, if you got to carry your iPad around and whip up the put in the website where people can go to get registered to vote. You know, you just need to do what you need to do. So thank you as always for having me on and giving me the opportunity to just share a little bit. And I'm just really excited. And I just want people to get out and vote.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And before we go to Precious, we're going to take a couple of remarks because folks are remarking like this is streaming in. Thank you, powerful women. I appreciate you from Phyllis Weaver in North Carolina. Sheandra Hardy, Lotus Richey is one of the greatest coaches and consultants. I would love to be a part of your team. Thank you so much. You know I'm in. Miss Weaver says, you know she's in. Okay, let's see what else we got. Larry from Live with Larry. Yes, thank you for that great information. We appreciate you too, my brother. All right, so Doshina said, come on now. That's right. We coming with fire. We gonna tell you how to give your killer pitch. And she says, wow, well, here I come. And I tell you, we have had a wonderful time tonight. So Precious, go ahead and have your final words for tonight. It's just been a powerhouse. So what
it's just been it really has. First I truly want to thank God for second chances. I want to thank God for second, third, and 55th chances. It's been an awesome time, and it's been very different from what I'm used to, which I love. I love difference. To my queen, keep your head up during this process. I know it's long and hard. I know it is. I know it's long and hard. And the rewards are worth it. Like I said, when you trailblaze, you get cut up, beat up, whatever, just to make it easier for someone else. You know what I mean? So fortune favors the bold. Go boldly. Go boldly towards your purpose. Go boldly. Fortune favors the bold. Years ago, I should say, go big or go home. It's still appropriate today. And to you, Lotus, I know you said you talked about not burning bridges, but I just want to throw this your way because I think you're gonna feel me.
Yes.
Sometimes the best light for the journey is a result of a burning bridge. Some bridges some bridges you're not meant to cross again. I promise you. And it's not because people turn their backs or something like that. There's sometimes purpose has been served. And to keep someone forever and ever and ever who serves no purpose, whether it's a friend, a loved one, a supporter, some people need to go. And I don't dally with negativity at all. I just don't. I have a positive outlook, not for positivity's sake, not for platitudes. But there were some bridges I'm not meant to cross. I'm not meant to hang around alcoholics. I'm not meant to hang around certain people. I want to give you inspiration.
Yes.
There are certain situations I can never go back to because I will wind up in St. Louis in a situation. So I learned that in a book called Wowisms. And maybe twice this year I put out there, sometimes the best life of the journey is a result of burning bridge.
Yes.
So you never know who's meant to be there for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. But when it becomes clear and your circle isn't supportive or powerful or supportive and encouraging, some people need to go because their only thing is to bring you down and to not let you see the glory and the light that you were born into. You are a freaking masterpiece. Act like it. Masterpieces, they don't need to be with everybody. The Mona Lisa's in the Louvre for a reason. So I love you, Lotus. I love you, Lotus. Would I've had the courage to say that years ago? No. But it's funny what a dark situation can teach you about life. I was mad when I lost everything. I'm so happy I did because I came out on the other side.
Yes.
And so I want to #ignite my pitch. I want to be with Lotus. Oh, I'm gonna be. So join up, y'all. Let us know. Ignite your pitch. Go to her email. Email her. Ignite your pitch. Give us some information. Let's go. Let's be bad bitches with power pitches. Take over the world. Let's be the chocolate girl wonders, or the colored girl wonders. And also, you're dealing with the female MacGyver of business. Give me 2 toothpicks. Stop playing.
I love it. So we love you. We love you, folks. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And still, we got so much stuff streaming in. Thank you from all over the world. We got people all over the world joining us. Thank you so much. I'm looking for your emails. Make sure you send your emails. Let us know that you're really ready. Don't talk about it, but be about it. And while you being about it, we are going to be your coaches. We're going to take you to the next level if you're ready to go. So make sure you got your Ignite and Take Flight shoes on, because we're going to blow off your socks. So you better make sure you got your shoes on to keep your toes warm. So we love you and we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget, hit us up at lotusignites@gmail.com and hashtag us with #IgniteMyPitch. And we gonna get at you. We gonna get at you. And Dorshina already done it. See, people that's ready to move don't wait around. Because eagles soar alone. So that's what I'm talking about. We love you, and we'll see you real soon. And go ahead and tell them what they need to do about the bad
bitches and power pitches. You need to go to Amazon, Walmart.com. My book is called Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for Women Entrepreneurs and Speakers Only. There's only one Precious Williams who wrote it. And then my workbook comes out next week on June 16th, 2020. It's available for pre-order now. We want to hit #1, but more importantly, we want to change lives.
Exactly. So
someone who looks just like you.
That's right. We love you. We appreciate you. Be blessed and don't be stressed, and stay away from all that doggone mess. What? Welcome to the Lotus Rashay Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. We are here tonight with another great show with another powerful